Meru was a young university student who loved watching TV dramas. Every night, she would sit in front of her computer, eyes glued to the screen. Just one more episode, she would tell herself. But one episode always turned into many more. As weeks passed, Meru noticed some changes. Her eyesight was getting worse, and she had to squint to see the board in class. She was always tired and had trouble staying awake during lectures. Her grades started to drop. One day, her friend Lisa asked, "Meru, are you okay? You look very tired." Meru yawned and said, "I'm fine. I just stayed up late watching a drama." Lisa looked worried. "Again? You do that every night. It's not good for you." Meru knew Lisa was right, but she couldn't stop. The dramas were too exciting. She wanted to know what would happen next. But it wasn't just her studies that were affected. Meru started having other problems too. She had trouble falling asleep when she finally went to bed. Her stomach felt uncomfortable, and she was often constipated. Sitting for hours every night was not good for her body. One day, Meru's favorite teacher, Mrs. Chun, asked her to stay after class. "Meru, I've noticed your grades are dropping. Is everything okay?" Mrs. Chun asked kindly. Meru felt embarrassed. She looked down and said, "I've been staying up late watching dramas. I can't seem to stop." Mrs. Chun nodded understanding. "I see. It sounds like you might have developed an addiction to watching dramas. But don't worry, we can work on this together. Would you like some advice on how to overcome this?" Meru nodded eagerly. "Yes, please. I want to do better in school, but I don't know how to stop." Mrs. Chun smiled and began to explain. "First, it's important to understand why you're drawn to these dramas. They provide excitement and an escape from stress. But there are healthier ways to get these feelings. Let's talk about some steps you can take. Step 1 is to set a strict bedtime for yourself. Choose a time like 10 p.m. and stick to it no matter what. Turn off all screens at least an hour before bed." Meru looked uncertain. "But what if I'm in the middle of an episode?" "That's where step 2 comes in," Mrs. Chun continued. "Limit yourself to one episode per day. Choose a specific time to watch it, like after dinner. When the episode ends, turn it off, even if it's exciting. Step 3 is to find other activities to fill your time. What hobbies did you enjoy before you started watching so many dramas?" Meru thought for a moment. "I used to like reading and going for walks." "Perfect," Mrs. Chun said. "Start doing those things again. When you feel the urge to watch more dramas, pick up a book or go for a walk instead." Step 4 is to use technology to help you. There are apps that can block certain websites after a set time. This can help you stick to your new schedule. Meru nodded, taking mental notes. Step 5 is to practice relaxation techniques. Often we watch TV to relax, but there are better ways. Try deep breathing or gentle stretching before bed. This can help you sleep better too. Lastly, step 6 is to connect with friends and family more. Spend time talking and doing activities together. This can provide the emotional satisfaction you're seeking from dramas. Meru felt a mix of hope and doubt. "This sounds good, but it seems hard. What if I can't do it?" Mrs. Chun put a reassuring hand on Meru's shoulder. "It will be challenging at first, but it gets easier with time. Remember, you're not alone. You can always talk to me or your friends for support. And think about how much better you'll feel when you're well-rested and doing well in your studies." Meru took a deep breath and nodded. "Okay, I'll try. Thank you, Mrs. Chun." Over the next few weeks, Meru worked hard to follow Mrs. Chun's advice. It wasn't easy. Many times she wanted to watch just one more episode. But she remembered her goals and stayed strong. She started reading again and found she enjoyed it just as much as the dramas. She went for walks with Lisa, and they talked about their day. Meru found this more satisfying than watching fictional characters. Slowly, things began to improve. Meru's eyesight stopped getting worse. She slept better at night and felt more awake during the day. Her stomach problems went away. Best of all, her grades started to go up again. One day, about a month later, Mrs. Chun stopped Meru after class again. "Meru, I've noticed a big improvement in your work. How are you feeling? Meru smiled brightly. Much better, Mrs. Chun. I still watch one episode a day, but I'm not staying up late anymore. I'm sleeping better, and I have more time for other things. Thank you so much for your help. Mrs. Chun beamed with pride. I'm so glad to hear that, Meru. Remember, it's okay to enjoy dramas. The key is balance. Keep up the good work. As Meru left the classroom, she felt proud of herself. She had overcome her addiction and found a healthier way to live. She knew there would still be challenges, but she felt ready to face them. With a spring in her step, she headed off to meet Lisa for their daily walk, looking forward to the rest of her day. 单字 be glued to something. 目不转睛地看 Idiom to be unable to stop watching something. Episode 有指电视或广播节目的一集. Noun one of the single parts into which a story is divided, especially when it is broadcast on the television or radio. Eyesight 视力 Noun the ability to see. Squint 眯起眼看 Verb to partly close your eyes in order to see more clearly. Constipated 便秘的 Adjective unable to empty your bowels as often as you should. Addiction 上瘾 Noun an inability to stop doing or using something, especially something harmful. Reassuring 使人安心的使人放心的 Adjective making you feel less worried.